descriptions if you're not seen that. And also do not forget to subscribe to the video and do like this video if you like it at the end of it. So let's go ahead and start with writing our first UI test case. But UI test case is like more like automation test case. Like you can simulate, like a tap on the button or simulate clicking on a particular table view or table row and see if it is navigating to the next screen. You can actually write code to do all this, and that is what we'll be doing in UI test case. So for this video, we'll take it very simple. We'll just have a button. So I already have it ready. So we just have one button. On click of this button, I'll be changing the label of the text of the label. Yeah, sorry. So we'll be testing if this is actually working fine by writing a test case. So to see the implementation, here it is. This is the action of our button. So when tapped, it just changes text to hello, and by default the label text is label and the button title is but. So how do we add a bundle? So go to this project and click on add and search for UI test. So this is what we need. We need a UI testing bundle. So next, you can give any name that you want. So several big projects might have several test bundles. So you can have names depending on the task that they test. So right now I'm just taking the default one. So if you observe, a new bundle is added here, and also find that a new folder is here. So under that, we have our first test file to proceed with. We can always delete this or add a new test file. So how do we add a new test file? Is go to new file and say UI test. So this is the file that we would be adding. So since I already have a basic test file, I'm proceeding with this. So there are several, to start with methods, which we are not going to see in detail today because we'll be taking it very simple. So yeah, so this is same as like exit test case. We'll run it by clicking on this arrow, or we give command U to enter all the test cases that we have written as part of the projects. So let's go ahead and write our first test case. Okay, so it should obviously begin with keyword test, and only then we'll be able to run the test. So test button function. So I'm just basically going to test if my button is working fine as expected. So the first thing that we need to know is we should always launch the app when we are going to write UI test cases. So how do we launch the app? Is we create a reference. I say let app equal to, we have something called as XCUI application that comes as part of this XC test. So I can select this. So this as initializes. So if I give as empty, it takes the actual project in which it is running. But there is other option as well where I can specify the bundle identifier. So if I have more than 2 apps and if I have to check few functionalities like 2 apps communicating with each other or passing some data or such things, we might need to launch the second app as well. So in that case, we'll be using this bundle identifier. So right now it's just simple one app, so I'm going with the default thing. All right, and I need to launch. So app dot launch. So it is as simple as that. So this will basically launch the app when I run it. Yeah, and now, so what I need to do is I need to tap on the button. So we have some APIs exposed to do that. So for that, first I need to get the reference of the button that I need to tap. So I already have app, so I'm taking app dot buttons. So this will give me list of all the buttons that is visible on the screen of that app. So if we go ahead and see the documentation, not just buttons, if I have to get all the alerts, check boxes, ready boxes, I mean, we have a huge list here, the table rows, etc, etc, text fields. So we can actually simulate entering or some username and password in a particular text field when we are writing test cases for login screen. And so I think you get an idea now. So let me come back. So buttons, so this is going to give me a list of buttons. So I'm going to search for a particular button. So I'm going to give the title that my button is having. So this will actually return the button that is that is there in my app. So I can straight away go ahead and say tap. This is going to tap the button. So, but let's take it a little more in detail. So I'm also going to assign this to a variable so that I can test if it is already existing. So asset true button dot exists. So this will first check the button is existing, and then let's go. If it is existing, then what do? We do button dot tap. So again, we have several functions that we can do, like tap, double tap, press for certain duration, press and drag, so all such things. So right now we are just tapping it, and on tap, what do we expect is we have to check if the label text is actually showing hello. So for labels, that is called as static text. So app dot static text. So we are searching for some label with text hello. Well, so let's assert if the label is existing. Exist. So this should actually run fine. Let's see how it so what we can do is we can actually create a schema here with our test case and do it. Otherwise we can just go ahead and run it here. So this will automatically launch the app because we have launched it here. Tap the button and then the label text will be changed because of the code that we have written in view controller. Oh, that all got finished so quick. We did not even see. Okay, this time let's do it again and check what's happening on the simulator. So there we go. It's label and automatically the button is clicked, and then so suppose I have made some mistakes. So if I'm just thinking, okay, my label should display something like this, so what happens? The test case fails now because there is no label with such text actually. There we go. So this is like a very basic video on how to actually start with UI test cases. We can do so many things. We can write test cases for each and every screen. We can write navigations, we can make tabs, we can long press, we can click and drag, and so on. As always, coding is fun. So get started with this and do great. And do not forget to subscribe and give a like. Thank you.